How and why do we make the key decisions in our lives? In his 60s, Mark Goldsmith quit a high-paying job in New York to help young offenders stay out of jail.
I was in the corporate world for over 35 years. It is nothing like the satisfaction I get today because I don't have a bad day at getting out and staying out.
Sally Bingham was a wealthy mother of 3 who'd never been to college. In her 50s, she had an epiphany and went on to help change the world.
We never know what's deep inside us, and we never know how far we can go. If anyone had asked me 20 years ago that I would be going around and making speeches about protecting God's creation, I would have thought that they had been smoking something. But now I find that this is who I am. This is what I was called to be.
These people have all reinvented themselves in the second half of life. How did they do it? Why did they do it?
Because you're going to play your piano exam.
Is it possible for any of us to do it? Can we start life again as an individual, as a family, as a community, as a nation?
We've done community development work in each one, so when we have guests in.
Today, life expectancy for most of us is longer than it's ever been. A bad economy may mean we have to retrain or get another job, but how much do we ever really reinvent ourselves? And if we did, what would make us do it? And how would we do it? Not so long ago, most of us expected to work in the same company or the same job for 30 years or more, gradually assuming a bit more responsibility perhaps, and then looking forward to a peaceful retirement. Many women expected to devote their lives to bringing up children and grandchildren and being a good wife. Sally Bingham was one of those.
My mother was born and raised in Mobile, Alabama. She was a Southern belle, and for her and her age group, being married was all that mattered. So she raised me to believe that one had to be married, and you were absolutely worthless as a human being, as a woman, unless you were on the arm of a successful man. And then, of course, we had to assess successful, and normally that meant money. Okay. Yeah.
Today, Sally Bingham is an ordained minister of the Episcopal Church and head of Interfaith Power and Light, an environmental organization with global reach, which she founded. She was one of only 30 religious and spiritual representatives to be invited to the international conference at Davos in 2011. She flies across the country and around the world, demonstrating how people of faith can take an active role in saving energy.
I first felt a calling to be involved with religion in the environment when I was in the pews in a church, and I was well aware that there are environmental organizations protecting the planet. I was a trustee for one of them. But to me, that wasn't going to do it. That wasn't enough. That didn't bring the moral, it didn't bring the ethical value, and it was quite partisan. Environmentalists are most often liberal Democrats. I didn't see this as a partisan issue. It seemed to me it was a religious issue. How we treat our neighbor comes from inside our soul. How we treat our neighbors is a spiritual issue. So much of the excitement in this work is talking to students who really understand that the world is in peril and are willing to make changes and do something about it. Sometimes I wish that I had more time. Oh, no. Come out here. I know.
In a few short years, Sally Bingham, housewife and mother of 3, has become a celebrity. How did she reinvent herself? Why did she want to?
This is the most wonderful gift that my children could have given me on my 70th birthday. And I'll show you some of the pictures. All of this countryside in the back of these pictures is where I grew up, just running around as a child of nature, making a fort and getting lost in the woods and going barefoot in the creek. At the beginning of those teenage years, I was crazy for boys' attention. And that went on for a good part of my life. I was a hellion as an 8-year-old, but I was a super hellion by the time I was a young teenager.